Hey guys, I'm Eric, and welcome to my movie review of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In this video, we're going to be analyzing Lord of the Rings and discussing how it answers the question of why our political system constantly fails us. Since the Rings of Power series came out on Amazon Prime 2 weeks ago, and since Lord of the Rings is fresh on everyone's minds, I thought this would be a great opportunity to do this video and hopefully get more exposure on YouTube. I just want to start by saying that I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy is a masterpiece. It is one of the best movie trilogies that has been done in the past 20 to 30 years, hands down. And that's big coming from me because I'm an avid Star Wars fan. I think that everyone should watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, even if fantasy is not your cup of tea, or if you feel that Lord of the Rings is a little slow. I think it's worth watching because it has amazing cinematography, the music is beautiful, and it has great themes such as friendship, the fight against good and evil, and perseverance. And I also think that it is rich in symbolism, and we can learn a lot about society and our political system through watching these films. The most important piece of symbolism in these movies is the One Ring. Tolkien didn't like one-to-one allegories because he didn't want to give his readers a single interpretation of the text. This is the reason he actually hated the Chronicles of Narnia, because it had a single interpretation and symbolism. And so the One Ring can actually represent many things. It can represent addiction, the lust for power, and in our case, it's going to represent our political system and the ability to use that system to effect change. The Dark Lord Sauron, the main villain of the series, created the One Ring to help him dominate all life on Middle-earth. And he almost succeeded until the ring was taken from him and he was left in a weakened state. The ring then changed hands multiple times until it ended up in the hands of Frodo Baggins. Since Sauron began to grow in strength again, Frodo took the ring with him and met with the other races of Middle-earth in order to discuss how to defeat Sauron for good and what to do with the ring. So the main question we should be asking ourselves is, why didn't they use the ring to defeat Sauron? If they have this magical, all-powerful ring, why didn't they use it against him? They actually answered this question during the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring. During the Council of Elrond scene, when they're deciding what to do with the ring, Boromir says, it is a gift. Why not use this ring? Let us use it against him." And Aragorn replies, "You cannot wield it. None of us can. The One Ring answers to Sauron alone. It has no other master." That is the key. Sauron creates the One Ring specifically for himself and his purposes. Anyone else who tries to use the ring will not receive the same power. This is evident throughout the films because there's multiple individuals that gain possession of the ring. And it gives them several abilities, such as invisibility when they wear it, or a longer lifespan. But in comparison to Sauron, it gives them very little power. There are actually multiple drawbacks to a mere mortal trying to use the ring. They end up becoming obsessed with it. Though it gives them a feeling of increased control and power, it's just a deception. It only gives them the illusion of power. Even though they live longer, over time, it leaves them weakened and diminished. The ring corrupts and poisons their body and mind. As they become more attached to the ring and attempt to use it, they'll become more dependent on it. Rather than being masters of the ring, they become a slave to it, even when they feel that they're in control. The ring's only true master is Sauron. At the Council of Elrond, they decide that the only way to defeat Sauron was to destroy the ring. Now you understand why the ring only works for Sauron. But what does that have to do with our modern political system? Well, our modern political system promises a voice to regular citizens. It promises them power, but it often fails to live up to that promise. Just as Sauron forged the One Ring to only work for him and fulfill his purposes, powerful and wealthy individuals have lobbied Congress to pass laws that rig the political system in their favor. This includes laws that allow corporate money to be poured into elections and laws that prevent third parties from gaining power. There's actually a Princeton study that reveals that no matter how popular a potential law is, it still has only a 30% likelihood of being passed. That is why our political system doesn't work for regular citizens. It was designed to incentivize politicians to listen to the desires of corporations. Congress doesn't care about what regular citizens think once they are elected. Our government is not by the people, for the people. Just as the One Ring has only one master, our political system serves only one master, the rich and the powerful. In the United States, we've been voting for the dominant two political parties for decades, but very little has changed. In the hands of regular citizens, our political system yields very bad results and has very little power to enact change. So what can we do? We can't use our political system to enact change because there are adverse incentive structures in place. So we only have two choices. We either reform our current political system or we destroy it and replace it with a new one. So how can we reform our political system so it works for regular citizens? I actually talked about this in my last video, and that video was called The Only Way to Save America, Ranked Choice Voting and Top 5 Primary. I go into more detail into that video, so I recommend you go watch it. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.